Hey there, it's Tim with Oklahoma On Stage. Welcome back to your one-stop shop for all things theater in the great state of Oklahoma. We appreciate you joining us. If this is your first time, you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, and our website is oklahomaonstage.org. There you can find all of our past episodes, a newsletter, which is just around the corner, as well as a monthly calendar of events going on all around the state. If you'd like to add anything to that calendar, an event, a production, or audition, just email us at oklahomaonstage@gmail.com. Also, send us any comments or questions that you might have to that same email, or you can use the contact form there on the website. We'd like to ask that if you like what we're doing, please leave us a rating and or a review. That kind of helps people find us and lets us know how we're doing. Again, thanks for joining us. We've got a great one for you today, so let's just dive right in.
Oklahoma on stage, the stories come alive with drama, dance, and music. The arts always thrive. From center stage to backstage lore, Oklahoma on stage, there's always something more.
Welcome back, everybody, to Oklahoma On Stage, your go-to resource for all things theater in the state of Oklahoma. I am blessed this week to actually be sitting on the set at the Pollard Theatre of The Shark is Broken. So be sure and get your tickets now to see this wonderful show. And I'm sitting here with the artistic director and cast member of Shark is Broken, Mr. Jared Blount.
That's me.
And did I say that correctly?
You did.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
I've done that before and actually totally butchered somebody's name, and I really hate doing that. So I'm glad that I got yours right.
You got it. You nailed it.
So I'm glad you and also Larz.
Yes, sir. Larz Justice.
Larz Justice, who is also a cast member of The Shark is Broken, has joined us as well.
I pulled him into
He
it.
got roped in as we were setting things up, and so hey, we'll include him. Why not?
Happy to be here.
All right, so we're going to just kind of start with the elephant in the room, as we always do. Jared, how did you get started in theater in Oklahoma, and what first drew you into theater?
Well, I've always been very full of myself, so I think it was
That's always a plus.
Yeah. I think it was a situation where I wanted people to see my immense talent. What I was a fan of was movies when I was a kid. I loved movies, and I don't remember the first play that I saw, but I was kind of like, oh, you can do this in front of people. Like, that's cool.
And in public.
Right. And like I said, I don't remember what the play was, but I just talked to my parents ad nauseum about how I wanted to be involved in some way. And I wound up getting an agent in Oklahoma City, and I got hired to do a few commercials. And the first commercial I did was for the Kentucky Farm Bureau. Okay. And I played a baseball player, which is absolutely insane if you know me at all. And the lady who was doing my makeup said, hey, you should do some theater. And I went, oh my gosh, it's that thing that I know about where you can get up and perform in front of people. Yeah, I went and did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown with a theater that Ben Hall ran at the time called City Youth Theaters. And I think I was about 12 years old. And so I've been doing that ever since I got involved. And I love the collaborative process of theater. I love being able to work with other artists and, just be authentic and fun and engage with people. It's a lot of fun. I've just been addicted to it. I have an addictive personality.
Same.
Yeah.
So, Larz, what about you? How did you get started in theater?
Oh, boy. Did the odd Christmas play, in fourth grade, but I think it was probably eighth grade in middle school. They auditioned their first musical ever. It was Schoolhouse Rock Jr., and I fell in love with it instantly. None of the other guys that I was hanging out with liked going to choir class or being involved in acting, but I was like, I really enjoy this, and it's really been nonstop ever since.
It's amazing how the bug bites. Yeah. And so I know I have a listener that is a good friend of mine now because of this process, and he shared the story that he had never, growing up as a kid, school, things like that, never got involved with theater, never had anything to do with it until he was married, and one of his children got involved with it at school, really loved it. The next child down got involved, really loved it, and he just thought, you know what, I could probably do that too. And they had a show down in Ardmore, and he went out and auditioned for it. And when I met him a couple of months back, he was doing like 6 or 7 shows straight.
Wow.
and hadn't stopped. And
So he had it. He had the gift.
yeah, the bug bit, and
Yeah.
he didn't take the medicine, and so it infected him. So yeah, it's kind of amazing how that goes. So.
That's
At
so
any
neat.
time.
That's so neat. It's in all of us, you know? Yeah.
And that's kind of what a lot of these podcasts and interviews have really pulled out, is that, you know, everybody's got a little bit of theater inside of them.
100%.
And sometimes, you know, they don't think, you know, that they have the talent, or they don't have this or that. But it's amazing how even some of the people that may be a little bit more technically inclined, there's a place for them too.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us could do any of this without the guys up there.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Right.
they're just as important as we are on stage. And so,
Exactly.
that's where I've spent a lot of my theater years, was in a booth very similar to that
Yeah.
one back there, and
Yeah.
sound and lights and all of that kind of stuff. And so I've learned the importance of that, and I always try to make sure anytime that when we do a curtain call, we're thanking those guys
Exactly.
too. You know,
Yeah.
so they may not be on stage, but they're definitely every part of the show.
Huge part of it.
So can you share a defining moment in your journey that solidified your passion for theater?
Ooh. I can think of a moment where I had an awareness of what I was doing, I think, and that maybe helped carve out my path in wanting to do it, you know, full time. I went to a school called Oklahoma Christian Academy in Edmond, and they put on a production of Fiddler on the Roof, and my brother was in that show too. Anyway, I was doing Tevye. I don't know how it happened. I think my theater instructor just appreciated me and maybe how silly I was. But I was doing that show, and there was some song about. It shows how well I know Fiddler on the Roof, because I can't remember the name of the song. I was doing a song, and I was like, I considered theater and what I was doing to be a very self-serving thing, and I thought, what can I do to really make myself stand out in this moment and make it appear as though I'm really feeling this song. And at some point, it just clicked in my head that I shouldn't be doing this to try and convince anybody of how good I am. I should be doing this to serve a story. And that thought alone just started triggering tears in my eyes, and I was kind of like, oh my goodness, this is why this is magical. This is why people enjoy this, because we're serving a greater purpose than just watching ourselves under a spotlight. So yeah, I think that was probably when I had an awakening in theater, and I kind of went, oh, I should be involved with people and do this with people that enjoy the storytelling and the collaborative nature of theater itself. It's not about me.
And that's one thing that I always try to impose, I guess you could say, on young actors.
Yeah.
Is that the number one thing that we do as actors is we tell stories.
Yes.
You know, sometimes, and we talked a lot about this during the Diary of Anne Frank, that, you know, a lot of times when we get on stage and we're portraying characters, and I guess, you know, The Shark is Broken is very similar to this too. A lot of times we're bringing to life made up people, fictional characters. Now, they were real to the author, of course.
Sure.
But it was just a made up story. But when we look at things like the Diary of Anne Frank, The Shark is Broken, these are real people.
Yeah.
You need to do research. It's not hard to find information on these people. And so being able to tell their story, I mean, it's all about giving respect back to those individuals and the part that they played. And in this case, in The Shark is Broken, bringing to life one of the most iconic movies in cinema history.
Right.
You know, that no one expected it to be that. And they gave, you know, from the stories that I've heard, the producers and Hollywood never gave it a chance, and all of that. And it became, like I said, one of the most iconic movies of all time. And so every list that you see that comes out, you know, the 50 movies and this, it's always in the top 10.
Absolutely.
And it belongs there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a great movie. So now the sequels were kind of weak, but you know, hey.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to have to put on 3D glasses to enjoy my shark, I guess.
Right. So, Lars, same question. Can you share a defining moment in your journey that solidified your passion for theater?
Sure. I mean, and it's very apropos because it belongs to this place, to the Pollard Theatre. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been doing theater since I was a kid. Went to college at UCO for music theater for a very short amount of time, and around that time, the passion was sort of waning a little bit, you could say. And so I started to think, well, this is fun, but should I maybe do something a little more practical for my life? And then my good friend Matt Alvin Brown, who is directing the show here as well, at the time told me, hey, I'm doing a play up at the Pollard Theatre that you should really come and see. And I was like, all right, sure, whatever. I'll come see your play that I've never heard of. And that play was Passing Strange.
Okay.
It was the second time the Pollard had done Passing Strange, had never heard of it before, and that play absolutely rocked my world. Came back and saw it the next night, which I'd also never done before. It was so good, I have to come back immediately. And so that play hit me at a time where, again, the passion was waning, and it absolutely reignited it. Not only that play, but this place. For a long time after that, I used to say that the Pollard was church, and it felt that way.
Wow.
And now I'm very thankful to be able to call the Pollard home. So that's a real defining moment, absolutely.
Excellent. So, Oklahoma has a very rich theater scene, as we kind of talked about beforehand. I didn't know that there were as many theaters in the state, and I'm still getting things coming in, from all over the place. So yeah, I mean, you get so wrapped up in, Oklahoma City, where there's pretty much a theater on every corner,
Right.
that you don't realize that there is a vast amount of talent outside of Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa, it has a very vibrant theater community, which it makes sense. But we're talking about places like Lawton and Duncan and Ardmore and Enid and Muskogee, and McAllister is putting on Broadway level productions and things like that. So there's so much talent in this state. How do you think, even just in your slice of the state, how do you think that theater has evolved over the years?
I think it's becoming more accessible. I think that the kind of shows that I grew up knowing about were things like Sound of Music and a lot of Rodgers and Hammerstein and Les Mis and all these things, and there wasn't really an alternative theater scene, and it seems like it's kind of opening up. The accessibility of it is, I started listening to Avenue Q and I was like, this is a show. Of course, shows like Little Shop of Horrors and fringe shows have always existed, but it seems like there's a lot more like, hey, here's a little 4-person show. They're going to play some rock songs, and this is a show that's on Broadway, and you kind of go, oh, well, we could do that.
Yeah.
We could do something like that. Even something like The Shark is Broken. It's like, oh, it's a 4-person show. Or
do you
sorry,
guys
3-person
sing?
show. The Shark does.
The Shark scenes. Okay.
Yeah. He only has the 2 notes. But I don't know. I think that it's like people can do just about anything they want to now, and certainly with technology being where it is at today, you don't have to have a bunch of fly systems necessarily. You can have a decent projector, get a bunch of various scenes, but to me, that's how it's evolving. It's evolving in more people have the ability to do it. I don't know if it could be considered Broadway caliber or what have you, but I think that it just seems easier to do, and it seems easier for people to have access to do it, I guess. That's probably not a great answer, is it?
I think it's a great
No,
answer.
it's a great answer.
Is that a
Yeah.
good answer?
Sure.
Oh, thank God,
It's
guys.
a diverse medium.
It's a diverse medium.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. That's why I keep Larz around, is he just says the things.
Helps to
that-
articulate what you're thinking.
Yes, yeah. I'm very bad at it if I don't have a script.
A lot of times that's my wife. So, she usually kind of helps me give words to the stupid thoughts that I have in my head.
Yeah.
So, I think it's an
I'm
8.
drunk is the problem.
Well, okay, well, there's that too. Okay, so you've been involved with Pollard for theater for many, many years. So what was the transition like from director of media and technology to the artistic director?
I was awful. It was really terrible. I worked here since 2011, I think. I became a full-time company member in 2014 or 15. And, I learned under the tutelage of Jerome Stevenson and really all the company members that worked in this building. And all the time, he would tell me, he'd say, one day I'm going to have you do this. And I'd be like, you're nuts. Like, you're silly. Like, you're going to be here for the rest of your life. Like, I'm going to make you stay here. And then the pandemic happened, and it just became the situation where he said, hey, I think it's time for me to move on. And that thing that I've been telling you for several years, I think it's time for you to do.
Here you go.
Right. But no, he was and is an incredibly supportive mentor. And so he made it. He calmed a lot of my fears about it, even though I still have a great amount of them to this day. But he really helped me kind of fill out the role pretty well. But it was absolutely terrifying. I mean, you go from, I was primarily an actor who got the director of media gig because I knew how to run sound and I could design things every once in a while, but I never ever wanted the responsibility of being the guy that had to drive a ship. I'd much rather be the guy getting drunk in the below decks or whatever. So yeah, it was really scary, and I still feel like I'm getting my legs beneath me, but it's incredibly rewarding. It's really fun to be able to work with the people that I work with, to bring back a lot of the people that I had worked with prior to the pandemic and get them back in the building. And it's been really interesting to navigate these post-pandemic waters and our current political climate and kind of find where this theater fits in all of that. So yeah, it's challenging, but it's great. And that transition again, was really awful. But I love it. I'm really happy to be here and to be doing it.
Oh, good. You brought up and mentioned your predecessor, W. Jerome Stevenson.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons that you learned from him?
Oh my God. I learned you don't stand under a ladder while someone's at the top rung. You might catch some smells. No, I too many things really to count. I think I sent him a long text whenever this transition was happening that just kind of said, "Hey, you're like a second father to me." He really, as far as being authentic and honest on stage, I think that's probably the biggest thing that I learned from that guy. If you're doing something that feels contrived or that feels dishonest, the audience is going to pick up on it. And that comes with acting, directing, sound, any aspect of theater. If it's not honest, then it doesn't belong. Unless the whole, the gimmick of the show is that it's about dishonesty or something. So way too many things to try and think of, I guess.
Did the Pollard way come from Jerome?
Did the Pollard way come from Jerome?
Okay, now you're going to have to explain that.
Probably. We have this saying here that there's the right way, there's the wrong way, and then there's the Pollard way.
The Pollard way is do what you got to do to get it done.
You just got to do what you got to do to get it done. Yeah.
It's kind of life, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I'm sure that came from Jerome. There's a lot of things. Again, too many things to count. But overall, it was that man taught me a lot about patience and about how theater is a very selfless thing when you're behind the scenes like we are all the time. And it's taught me to be good at certain things and that it's okay to not be good at a lot more.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so this question, we'll throw this out to both of you guys, and Larz will actually go with you first. Sure. What's been the most rewarding part of being a part of the Pollard?
I mean, it sort of ties in with that story I told before, but like this place is home. I think when you first become an actor or become involved in the theater at all, you have lofty ambitions. We go to school, everybody's like New York, or if you want to be a film actor, LA. And then at a certain point, at least in my case, you go, okay, I could do that and fail miserably. Or I could actually, I hate framing it as a lowering of expectations, but what it is becoming realistic and going, what I could do is find a home somewhere close by with people that I know already, that are up my alley. And man, did I find that here.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be a company member here. I'm 6 months into officially being a company member here, and it's quite literally a dream come true.
Yeah.
Even in realizing how difficult it is going to be a part of a small team trying to run a professional theater. I have joy every day working with people like Jared, working with Timmy. I do. So I think that answers your question, but it's this place is home.
Yeah.
And it feels that way.
You know, and I've always had issue with the fact that we as actors we frame our success around Hollywood and Broadway.
Yeah.
You know, and again, the whole reason for the podcast is the fact that we have a very large amount of talent here in this state. Yeah. And I think, just like you said, I don't think it's lowering expectations to be good here because, again, we're telling stories to an audience. Yep. You know, there's an audience everywhere. It doesn't have to be just in New York or in LA. Right. I think it's that way. So yeah, I don't think it's lowering expectations. I think it's just shifting perspective.
People in Oklahoma deserve good storytelling too.
Absolutely. And you know, if you think about the history of Oklahoma, some of the best storytellers came out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know, where would we be without Will Rogers?
Right.
You know, one of the greatest storytellers of all time.
Yeah.
You know, and so, I think, whatever. Okay, so back to you, Jared. What's been the most rewarding part for you?
I'd say working with the people here, for sure, but also being able to be able to tell stories to the people that are in this community and in this particular part of the state. I think it, in a way, kind of ties in with the accessibility bit. But one of the reasons I fell in love with this place was, you know, you hear about there's going to be a show in this small town, and you're kind of thinking, well, I shouldn't expect too much. I shouldn't anticipate to be blown away. And it was exactly the opposite. I came here and I was touched. I mean, I was weeping. And I feel like a lot of people feel that when they come here. I'm sure when they go to a lot of theaters in Oklahoma, where it feels like the people on stage are connecting with you as an audience. And it feels authentic and real because it is. And so that's what I love about this space. It's intimate. It's what I love about being able to perform here in the middle of Guthrie, Oklahoma. You know, I was doing a show called Heathers the Musical. And when we were doing the show, it kind of deals with suicide. And there had been many testimony from people that had come to see a show here before that had told me how much the show had touched them and the impact it had on their lives. But these kids came up after we had done the show, and they managed to sneak back into the green room and just started hugging all of the cast members, and they were crying, you know, and we were like, God, the show wasn't that good. I don't know why you're... And they were crying because one of their good friends, I guess they were in a circle of friends, and one of their friends had killed themselves. And so they were very emotionally, you know, impacted by the show. And we as a cast, we all came together and we just kind of, I don't know, we felt together. We all just kind of stood around and cried with one another. And after that experience, they walked away and said that, you know, their friend had killed herself, and maybe because they saw this show, they didn't have to do the same thing. And so that's the kind of stuff that I think about when I think about doing theater here. It has an impact on people, and probably more so than we think.
That's a very good story. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I appreciate that. Okay, so now we're going to shift gears in just a little bit to The Shark is Broken.
Yeah.
So what drew you to The Shark is Broken as being part of this season for the theater?
It made sense once I saw that the rights became available. I had my eye on it for a while. Rights became available, and I thought, well, it's got to be nearing the 50th anniversary of the show, or some sort of anniversary. I wasn't thinking of the exact number. And then I saw, well, it's the 50th anniversary. I went, well, that would just make sense. Normally you have a spring show, you want to do a big musical or, something that's going to pack the house, and you get the jazz hands going and people are walking out talking about, humming the tunes. But I thought, well, we got to do something special, and we have the opportunity to do something unique with it, in that it is just a 3-person show, but it is a little bottled piece of time for one of the most influential, movies in cinema history. And so it just kind of, to me, became we should just do it. I didn't weigh the pros and the cons as much as I did. I said, I love Jaws. I know everybody's heard of the movie Jaws, and I'm sure that most people would be interested in what happened on the set of one of the greatest movies of all time. So fitting it into the season just became a matter of how much time will I have to build a shark and put it in the lobby.
And you succeeded.
Yeah.
To say, and there's a big shark in the lobby, so
that's
very cool. So the play explores the behind-the-scenes chaos of Jaws. So what do you think makes this story so compelling? You just said, everybody knows of Jaws. Everybody would be interested in knowing what happened behind the scenes. Why do you think that is such a draw for people?
I think it's because it would be hard to imagine with a movie that seems so perfect, at least in my mind. When I watched it, I still watch it to this day, and I find something new every time I see it. And I go, well, God, this was just meticulously made. Every frame, they must have thought about and mulled over for days and days and days and days. And that wasn't the case at all. It was kind of a lightning in the bottle situation where they had Carl Gottlieb, the screenwriter, was coming up with pages on the fly, and throwing lines at them over dinner the night before. And the shark, obviously, they had much bigger plans for it, and it fell through whenever they put it in the ocean. So I think that knowing that something that it feels so polished and clean was not that way, you kind of go, well, I want to see how that magic happened.
Yeah, you want to see behind the curtain.
Yeah. I want to see that the alchemy table or whatever it is that made that incredible mixture. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have already opened, I understand.
Yeah.
So how has the audience received the show so far?
Answer, Larz.
Yeah, very well. Our opening night, I've been using this word all week. It felt triumphant. We rehearsed this thing and we rehearsed it, and it's a lot of lines, but also we kind of settled into it probably about 2 weeks out from the opening date. So we were in that time where it was like, all right, we need folks here to watch this thing or else we're not going to grow. And opening night felt that way. Was it good energy, and they were laughing from my first line. It felt very good. I just hope that we sell a few more tickets and more people feel that way.
Awesome. So moving forward, what is your vision for the Pollard Theater?
My vision is to sustain the artistic integrity of the place, to have it continue being a hub of creativity and collaboration, and to continue making theater accessible. And whether that be a musical, a play, concerts, comedy acts, what have you, I want people to be able to make a drive together, or people within the community to step next door and come experience some art. So that's my vision, is however that grows and branches out is left to be seen, but maintaining its artistic integrity and honesty in its storytelling, I think is the main gig.
So one of the things that is kind of a going tradition with a lot of theaters is embracing the new and the now and all of that.
Yeah.
Has there been any thought in your process on how to keep the tradition of the Pollard alive?
Certainly, it's on my mind all the time. I mean, sitting here in this room, you're surrounded by history. I mean, it's like this building was built in 1901. Those paintings that are on the audience can't see them. I'm pointing at a wall. Those are all, original. There, you can look up there, and that's, where the old projector set for the when it was a movie house. It's also where the segregated seating was back in the, so it's like you're surrounded by.
We're not trying to maintain that particular.
I was going to say, that's a good segue.
No. That's not what we're maintaining. I'm saying that the history of the building is here. So maintaining the artistry of it, I think, is what's important. So moving forward, it's always like the now. What do you mean by the now? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's just, there's a lot of theater that people in Oklahoma don't know about. And so when people bring current hits and things like that from Broadway that people haven't heard of. Trying to stay, I don't want to use the word relevant because I don't want to say that new is relevant and the old isn't, but
sure.
I think it's kind of the difference between some theaters stick primarily to the classics and want to focus in that arena, whereas others want to push the limits and try to see how modern and edgy can we be and things like that. I want to put Anne Juliet on our stage and see if anybody gets it. And things like that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm drunk. It's like I said before.
We should point out that Jared is sober.
I have been sober. I'm not actually drunk. No, yeah.
I can't see his pupils from here, so I can't say that.
I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not. No,
So what is it? No or yeah?
No, yes. Yes, no.
Well, you keep a good variety of programming, I think. I think it's versatile. Yeah,
we added the Pollard Performance series when we came back from the pandemic, and that was I don't know if it was the first incarnation of having acts come through the theater, but certainly the first time in a long time that we decided to start bringing in bands and comedy acts and things of that nature. And so variety is I think, important in keeping it current. It also brings a litany of people that have never been to the theater before, would probably wince at The Sound of Music or any Rodgers and Hammerstein, but would go see a band cover Pink Floyd, So I think that's a good way to keep people coming in for sure. I don't know if theater will ever not be relevant.
I hope not.
When you got Netflix and you got all those cool streaming things, and you can certainly watch it from the comfort of your own home, but it's not really an experience.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point, whenever the air raid sirens blare and everything goes kaput,
we'll still be doing theater.
Somebody's going to be acting somewhere.
Exactly. Theater will still be happening. So
sure.
As far as keeping things fresh and new, the Pollard Performance series is, I think, a cool addition to that. Bringing in the Shark is Broken is a cool new show. It's the regional premiere. It just hopped off Broadway. So got to bring people in to see something that was just there, I guess.
But also you can catch a territorial Christmas Carol here every year.
Oh, that's been going on. Yeah.
So a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And have you guys been a part of that show?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. You for how long now?
I just finished my third year in a row playing the Ghost of Christmas Present and a territorial Christmas Carol. And it's lovely. It's a whole different thing, that show, as well. Anyhow.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started in 2011. Timmy, who's our development director, has probably, I think he said since 99. So it's been going on for a while. But that's our staple.
Sure, yeah. Most people know the Territorial Christmas Carol, and you know about the Pollard for that and things like that. So, I get it. So, are there any upcoming productions or initiatives that you're particularly excited about, other than The Shark is Broken?
Oh, the 38th season hasn't been revealed yet.
We have not announced our 38th season.
He
covered the microphone.
This is a good place to... No, I'm just kidding. You could at least drop some hints anyway.
Sure. I'll drop a hint. How can I do that? I hope you'll join us
It's too niche.
in October. You think so?
I don't know.
We'll definitely have something going on around Halloween time that I'm very excited about. It's been here before. Of course, we'll bring a Territorial Christmas back. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And what will be a surprise is how we make it new every year. That excites me quite a bit.
Sure.
We always discover something or find something that we can alter or we can throw in, or a character discovery that happens, and we kind of go, oh well, that maybe will adjust the focus of this year. So I'm always excited about that. And then we'll have 2 other shows that.
So when do you announce the next season?
It's hopefully going to be certainly before we close The Shark is Broken.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Theater rights are a hard thing to figure out.
And it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So
I'll blame it on that. That's what it is. It's certainly not I haven't fumbled anything. It's really just those darn licensors.
somebody else's fault.
It
Let's
is.
Push it that way.
Yep.
So how do you see the Pollard Theater in continuing to engage with the Oklahoma theater community? You were talking about, in trying to be your theater in this little community. How does that contribute to the overall Oklahoma theater community scene?
Oh. Well, I think in general, arts organizations, I think we're all on the same team, and sometimes maybe it doesn't feel that way because, another theater's doing a show and you kind of go, oh, well, I want to do that show, or we did that not that long ago and we did it better, or, whatever. But no, we're all trying to bring theater to people. We're trying to tell stories, and I've always maintained that we got to help each other out as best as we can. And I feel like audiences can pick up on that when we collaborate within the building. They can tell when we collaborate with other organizations, and the Pollards always had a long time gig of co-producing with other theaters. City Rep was a big one, co-producing with Lyric Theater and things like that. So I don't know. I feel like we all got to stick together, and naturally that just kind of happens if when you're doing theater in the state of Oklahoma, you kind of go, hey, do you guys still have that costume piece for that, or do you got this set piece from? And we've always had really good relationships with other theaters in town, other artistic directors. I've got to pick their brains about things. Don Jordan, who was up until recently at City Rep, he's always offered words of support and encouragement, and he's located in Texas, So, yeah, I think that as long as we keep doing what we're doing and realize that we're theater people in the middle of Oklahoma.
Well, I'll say as a former audience member of the Pollard Theater, what drove me up here to make the 30-minute drive from Oklahoma City to come to Guthrie to see plays was it always just seemed like the cool stuff was happening up here. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'll bring it back to Passing Strange, but and then I was in American Idiot, so I didn't get to see this, but I don't know that I challenge them. I don't know that another theater in the state could have done a show like American Idiot as punk rock as we did it. So I think you're coming to see cool, maybe off the beaten path stuff here. But again, it's a variety. You can also come and see SpongeBob the Musical and have your kids have a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's actually a fair challenge. I want to see any of our listeners hear that challenge and say, we can do that.
Oh, I dare you.
And just see what happens.
I just want to see American Idiot again.
Yeah. You can't do it. You can't do it as punk rock as we did.
Yeah.
Now let us know when you're doing it, and we can come see
and
it.
we'll be there. The timing's right.
And they can say they're sorry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so as I mentioned before we went on the air, I like to kind of throw some curveball questions at my guests.
Where's my alcohol?
Just to kind of play have some fun and things like that. And we've got an interesting thing today. I've got a couple of curveball questions, but we're going to end with what we call the lightning round. And so it'll literally be just the first thing that comes to your head whenever I ask you the question.
Love a lightning round.
And I'm not going to put a timer on the clock or anything like that, but it'll just be asking the question. So, first curveball question. If you could direct any play or musical with an unlimited budget, what would it be?
Oh, wow. With an unlimited budget, any play or musical?
If price was no object.
I'll throw in my quick one. Lizzie, the musical, the Lizzie Borden rock musical. Jared knows how much I want to do it. If we all win the lottery, Lizzie's the first thing that goes on the programming for me.
Does it have to be a work that's been produced? I could just
You can say whatever.
I can make one. I would make a Batman musical. It would be it'd be a huge Gotham City, thing, an extravaganza. That's what I would do.
So you're going to do the whole Tim Burton thing with like black lights and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that'd be a part of it. That'd be like a $250,000 of the. But yeah, there'd be a Batmobile on stage. Be a whole number about the Batmobile.
Jared would turn this theater into Gotham. If
I would.
Could.
I absolutely would.
I can't see why not. Okay, so
He's like, why did I ask these guys?
no, it's great. It's great. I love it. What's the most unexpected challenge that you've ever faced in theater?
Oh, most unexpected.
I've stumped them.
Unexpected challenge.
You see, we've risen to every challenge so well that none of it seemed unexpected.
That's a tough one. I really don't know. It's because I know that there have been so many challenges. I can't think of one that in particular. What, do you have one?
No, I mean, I have a story about the first show I ever did here. I crewed Shrek the Musical, and there was a rainstorm here coming down pretty hard, and I didn't realize that when you work in an 100-year-old building, that sometimes the leaks are substantial, and the double doors at the very upstage portion of the theater turned literally into a waterfall, but somehow the show did not stop, and it carried on without the audience knowing that we were literally living in a waterfall backstage.
We're in the engine room of the Titanic.
And yeah, exactly. And I think that just goes to show the ingenuity of. I thought that was like, well, we can't do theater anymore, right? There's water in the building. Turns out, no, you can keep the show going.
Well, I mean, you could have incorporated it as part of the show. I guess,
Yeah.
Well, that's a testament to backstage artists and how absolute hell can be happening backstage.
Putting out fires. Yeah.
But professionals are back there, so the audience nor the actors on stage know that there's an issue.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. The sheer number of unexpected things that challenges that you have to face.
Nice cover. Nice.
Thank you. But it's true, though. In a way that's very true. I mean, especially in the position that I'm in now, it seems like every day there's something new. I mean, you talked earlier about the theater being struck by lightning twice. It's like, how does that even happen? And it's not something that you think about until it does. And
I think that's something we actually discussed before we came on the podcast, and I don't know that a lot of the people know what happened with all of that.
Yeah.
So can you share a little bit of that story?
Yeah, I guess so. Over the pandemic, I guess there wasn't anybody in the building for about a year, and we got everything back up and running to a degree, and said, hey, we should probably check the equipment out, and turned everything on, and basically nothing came on. And so we had someone come out and look at everything, and they said, it looks like you were struck by lightning. There was a big mark up on our AC unit up on the roof, and we were like, oh, okay, well, that's insane, but I guess we need to start getting some new equipment and getting all this stuff kind of refurbished and revitalized and all that. And then got that taken care of and thought the coast was clear. We opened our first show of the first season back after the pandemic, and 2 weeks into the run, it was storming outside. We had the audience sitting in the house ready to watch the show, and heard a loud crack, and about 30 seconds later, this guy ran into the building, and he said, hey, you guys just got struck by lightning. And if he didn't have to say that, because all the lights went out on stage, the sound went out, everything went out for a good 15 seconds, but then a lot of it didn't come back on. So yeah, we got struck by lightning twice.
Which isn't supposed to happen, right?
That's not supposed
Yeah,
to
that's,
happen.
that's what they say. It doesn't happen in the same place
Right.
twice.
Well,
so,
we're breaking barriers.
There you
know?
go. Probably not one you wanted to break
Exactly.
right there. So then my question was, you said the first one happened during the pandemic. This one happened coming out of the pandemic. Recovery. How did the theater recover from that?
With a great amount of support from the community, we had some fundraising events. Our board of directors really came together and found a way to fix a lot of the issues. We also had a good cushion from the SVOG grant, the Save Our Stages grant, that helped the damage of that not be so detrimental. So if anything, I don't want the building to be struck by lightning again, but I'm happy that it happened when it did, because we hit the ground running, and we kind of said, it gave us a point of like, well, it certainly can't happen a third time. I'm not tempting the fates here.
Dear God.
But
You've just opened the floodgates.
what have I done?
know.
I dare you. No.
Oh, see.
Jared, do not tempt the theater
And here I
gods.
was just thinking about asking a question about theater superstitions, and you went there.
Well,
so
no, it's
never mind.
Have we said the M word yet?
No, I say
Okay.
it in the play, which doesn't count though, right?
Yeah. So no, I think we're fine. So no, yeah, it was a great amount of effort on everybody here at the theater, and of course the support of our community. So
Thanks, Corey's audiovisual, right?
Corey's audiovisual, yeah, they also helped us out. They gave us a great deal of equipment
To tide us over.
while we recuperated our stuff. Thank you for reminding me. of that.
Yeah, of course.
Brad Porch, really good guy.
Shout out to those guys over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so transition from your statement. So what is your favorite theater superstition, and do you believe in it?
I am not a superstitious fellow. I guess I will say there was not that long ago, actually, somebody said the M word.
That Scottish play word.
That Scottish play word. And I was cutting something with scissors, and he said it, and he left the building, and not 5 seconds later, I slipped and sliced my. You can actually see, podcast listeners, I'm showing a scar.
That just got really gross, and so we're gonna turn off the show now.
Sorry, yeah. So I don't subscribe to the superstition, but I respect everybody that does.
People tell you this building is full of ghosts. I got to tell you, I've never seen one in corporeal form myself. So
So do you guys leave the light on the stage?
We do.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think there's probably a good amount of safety reasons
Yeah.
that we do that.
You don't want anybody walking into a dark building.
Yeah.
that's the real point of a ghost light, and I think we all know.
I think it
Yeah.
is. I can't imagine a ghost dying a second time.
And, it's interesting. The show I just did was the first time I'd ever heard the superstition about whistling backstage.
yeah,
Yeah,
Someone was just saying that.
was brought up the other day.
I was just like, I had no idea that was a thing.
because that's how the flymen communicated or something.
Because so many of the workers that they used to have came from ships.
yeah.
Right.
And they used to whistle to, cue each other on the ships and things like that. So they
Right.
carried it over here. Well, then when somebody got backstage and whistled, they thought it was a cue. And
I see.
so,
Someone gets hit by a fly line.
yeah, somebody got hurt and all that kind of stuff. So you don't whistle backstage,
don't
even
do
though we
that.
don't do that anymore.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Very few theaters do operate that way anymore. So if you had to describe the Pollard Theater in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? See, everybody always wants the one word, so we just throw out the one word. I'm going to throw 3. So
3.
Describe the Pollard Theater.
Good fun times.
there you go.
That's
Lame.
acceptable, I suppose.
That's fair. Yeah.
What are yours?
Oh God.
Something more substantial than that.
Well, but see, that's the problem. Is like I can't think of anything.
That's why I said we use these at the end, so you can't think of anything at this point. So
Yeah. Why have you done this?
because it's a lot of fun.
Great fun.
Yeah, his isn't any better.
It's not. It's not. I'm gonna steal Larz. I think it's a good fun time.
Okay. That's actually, I actually liked it when he said that. I thought it was a really good one.
Well, maybe we should just make that the
that's the new slogan
That's the new
for
Pollard Theater.
for
Good
Pollard-
fun time.
There you go.
I like
Season
it.
38.
Could be a good
fun times.
marketing, thing. I don't know. Okay, so are you ready for the lightning round?
Oh my God.
It's all you, Jared.
Oh, he's just throwing in the flag.
Great.
Okay, so again, we're going to go through these fairly quickly. Give me the first answer that pops into your head.
Oh shit. Oh poop.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. What's the first theater production you ever saw?
Sweeney Todd.
After he just said it was all you.
Right. I thought you were saying mine was Sweeney Todd. I was like, wait, what? Really? I don't think I've ever seen that live. The first one I ever saw, Cats. It was okay, but it was the filmed version of Cats.
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, the old pro shop.
I really can't think of the first live production that I ever saw. Yeah. It's probably something at church or school or something.
All right.
Does that count?
No.
Straight play or musical?
Musical.
Drama or comedy?
Comedy. In that it is dramatic.
Fair. Opening night or closing night?
Closing night.
Cast party or quiet night in?
Cast party.
You said that pretty emphatically, so
The older we get,
The older we get. But you still want to, even if it's just for like 10 minutes or something, you want to.
yeah, okay. What is your go-to pre-show ritual?
A cigarette.
That's always a plus. If you could have dinner with any playwright, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh. Stephen Sondheim.
Sondheim is the answer.
He was feeding that into
Yeah.
your brain. I could see it.
Yeah. I mean, Stephen Sondheim.
Okay. Okay. What's the weirdest theater suspicion you've ever heard?
I mean, they're all pretty weird.
That's why they're superstitions, right?
Exactly. Here's one you ever heard. Do you have one?
I can't think of any beyond the two we've already mentioned. Honestly,
I know there's more.
I will say this place has cleared me of my fear of walking under ladders. I do it all the time now, but that's not specific to theater. Oh, I mean, the Scottish play one is so silly, but it's also, there's so many, everyone's got a story.
Yeah.
Even if you're not superstitious, there's something to back that one up.
Sure.
And so it's so funny that we're like, we don't say this play, but
I think that the one of the weirdest ones ever suggested to me, which I don't know if it's a superstition, but rather just an odd word of caution. But don't ever go over your lines before you go on stage. And I was kind of like, well, that's weird because wouldn't you want to? But I've done it before and it was not great.
and tripped.
It got me hyper fixated on my lines. So
Yeah, by that point, you should know it while you're going over them.
Yeah, I always say.
well, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I always say don't overthink it. Once you've reached
Yeah.
production, don't
You
overthink
You
it.
just go out and do it.
Yeah,
yeah,
because you can, like you said, get hyper focused, especially on the areas where you struggle with.
Right.
And what I have learned over the years is it becomes like a domino. When you trip over one, eventually you trip over another, and then another, because you're thinking about it too much.
Right.
And so I think when it comes to the closer you get to production, you've got to get out of your head.
Sure.
Yeah.
And definitely just let it live. Just let it be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Although to counter that, before opening night, I had a lot of nervous energy, and so in our pre-show cigarette, I just started speed reading our first scene, and it actually did get me calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe that wasn't for the purpose of getting the lines, but rather getting maybe
I was
into
going to say, getting rid of some jitters.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, final one. One word to describe The Shark is Broken.
Fun.
That was nice and weak. Here we've been pumping this show up for half an hour, and it's fun.
Impressive.
There you go.
Whoa. Okay.
He went with 3 syllables.
Dang it. Dang it. I'm not even gonna try and
Okay, we're gonna go with that. So, guys, thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for being good sports and doing this. So, as we wrap up, how can people, if people want to be involved with the Pollard Theater, how can they get in touch with you?
we have a cool page on our website that's dedicated to getting involved. It's got volunteer signups. It's got you can sign up for a newsletter. We have audition signups and all that kind of stuff. So if you go to our website, thepollard.org, that's where you can find all that stuff. And then if you're looking for tickets for The Shark is Broken, and
That was my next question.
it can also be found there, or you can contact our box office at 405-282-2800.
Very good. And all of those links will be on our in the show notes for this episode, so be sure to check those out. Also, be sure to get out and check out The Shark is Broken. This set is very, very good. It brings you into the movie, and so it's really, really good. It's a good time. It's a good fun time.
It's a good fun time.
There you go.
See, it's fun.
It's gonna get stuck now. Guys, thank you again. Appreciate you guys being a part of
Thank
this
you.
and
Thank you for
taking
having
your
us.
time and being good sports and everything. For everybody else that's listening to the podcast, we appreciate your time, taking your time out of your day to give to us. We appreciate that. And above all else, please continue to support the arts.
Oklahoma on stage, the spot